Yo, what's going on, everyone, dude? I know you guys are having a fantastic day. If you're not, I want you to listen to my voice. I want you to listen to me very carefully. From now on, you are going to have a great day, okay? Because you're listening to none other than Lord Alpaca, Lord, Alpaca, whatever. We're going to be looking at two phones, honestly, that I should have reviewed. I don't know what I was thinking. I probably got so sidetracked making all those iPhone SE2 videos and iOS 13 beta reviews that I probably forgot to do these ones, but I recently got the iPhone XS Max and a lot of other phones recently too, some the Galaxy Note 9, S10 Plus, Google Pixel 3 XL, even the smaller XS. And I kind of want to fill on the reviews that I kind of missed early on this year and fill in the gaps right now before the Galaxy Note 10 comes out and before the new iPhone. So these are two devices that I'm going to heavily be comparing. Now in this video, I talk a little bit about everything, but I also do a speed comparison between the two. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, like, both these devices are phenomenal devices. There's definitely pros and cons for both of them. If I had to choose one, I mean, I'll probably tell you at the end of this video, but both these devices are very, very good. There's literally nothing wrong with either of these. If you have a Note 9 or a XS Max, don't feel like you have to update or even listen to me because they're both very phenomenal devices in my opinion. Now, interestingly enough, the XS Max and the Note 9 obviously came out a year ago, about give or take. The XS Max came out in September of 2018. The Note 9 actually came out in August of 2018, so there was only like about a month difference between these two. And in terms of the way they feel in the hand, they both feel like very, very premium devices. One, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily feel more premium than the other, but I kind of do like the Note 9, and the way I say that, it kind of sounds like I like the Note 9 way more than the XS Max. That's not the case. In terms of the body, I like how the Note 9 sides kind of like taper off a little bit versus the XS Max is a little bit thicker than the Note 9, at least how it feels like. So that is one little thing that I have seen. And if you look at the front, you can see that we have almost a similar style, except the XS Max does have the notch. The XS Max has a 6.5-inch OLED display. It's 1242 by 2688, where the Galaxy Note 9 has a Super AMOLED display. That one is 6.4 inches. That is 1440p by 2960. And what I can tell you is, I've owned every single iPhone. I don't want to flex on you guys, but I'm going to have to for a second. And I've owned every single Samsung Galaxy Note device and the Samsung Galaxy S series device. At least I think so. And what I can tell you is, without a doubt, I've always preferred the Samsung screens over the iPhone screens. And it's funny because Apple sources their panels from Samsung. So some iPhones, not all of them, but some of them, at least the OLED displays, are made and created by Samsung. Whereas on the Galaxy, those are all Samsung displays, but they look so much better. There's a higher pixels per inch of PPI density on the Galaxy Note 9 than on the XS Max. So that is a pretty big thing. And when you're going to Best Buy, these are two phones that you're probably going to see, or if you're going to T-Mobile or Verizon or wherever country you're from, whatever big store is there, these are two phones that you're going to be seeing, and pretty much they're in the comparable realm. Are you going to pick up a Galaxy Note 9 or a XS Max? These are two in the same price range. And in my opinion, in terms of the body, I kind of prefer the Galaxy Note 9. There's ways that XS Max feels better. I feel like the XS Max might be heavier, but I actually don't even remember that well. But pretty much how they feel in the hand, I would probably give the edge to the Galaxy Note 9 in my opinion. Now moving on to the software support, this is what I will tell you. Without a doubt, the iPhone XS Max, even though technically it is a little bit newer than the Galaxy Note 9, it will outlast the Galaxy Note 9 by miles and miles. It's probably going to last twice as long in software support than as the Galaxy Note 9. But here's what I'll tell you, okay? The Note 9 started off with Android 8. It eventually got Android 9, and it will probably end up getting Android 10, maybe Android 11 too, who knows, probably not. But the XS Max started off with iOS 12, and it got iOS 13. It's going to get like so many more versions of iOS, it's crazy. And the software support will definitely be at least like 2 or 3 more years longer than the Note 9. And that's one thing that I always pride about Apple. Their software support is none other. I mean, it's like the craziest software support from any other manufacturer. We recently saw the iPhone 4S and the iPhone 5 get software support, which is crazy. Like, we don't really see that from phone manufacturers. So without a doubt, in terms of software support, the iPhone XS Max will win here. But the Galaxy Note 9 still has, a third-party development community behind it, so people can go throw custom ROMs on it or root it or rot it, polka dot it, whatever you want to do with it. So the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 in a sense will also be set in a way too, so that's a pretty important thing to note. Now moving on to the specifications of the phone, like I said, I did a speed comparison, so I'm going to show you guys that in a second, but let me tell you the specs because it's the least important thing. Real world experience is more important. But the iPhone XS Max has the Apple A12 Bionic chip, a hexa-core CPU, and 4 gigs of RAM on all the variants. But the Galaxy Note 9 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 630 GPU, and depending on the variant, you either get the 128 gig variant that has 6 gigs of RAM, or the 512 gig variant that has 8 gigs of RAM. Now, my specific variant does have the 6 gig RAM option, so let's go ahead and see how both these devices compare on their respective softwares, respective variants, and let's see which one is faster. Alright, so continuing on with the iPhone comparison, as you see the XS Max to the left, Note 9 on the right, I probably already told you all the specs and everything. Now all the apps are going to be cleared out in the second. As you can see, this one is cleared out, but the XS Max still needs to go. So all the apps pretty much primarily same exact ones on both devices, so let's go ahead and start loading them up. Let's do Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the Galaxy Note 9 actually got into it faster, pretty crazy already. Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And as you can see, the Note 9 was a little bit ahead, but the XS Max got into it shortly after. Let's get into some gameplay, and you will probably be able to tell that they're almost identical. I don't think one is extremely slower than the other so far from what I've been able to tell. And I've been using these separately like the whole entire time and since I bought them. And again, I don't see them being one slower or faster than the other by an astronomical amount. Let's do Thank You, 3, 2, 1. As you saw, the Note 9 actually got into it faster again. And if we go ahead and play it, it's surprising we're on the same exact level, I think. Hold up. Yeah, the same exact level. What are the chances? But, you know, you can see gameplay is almost identical. Like, the XS Max, you know, was a little bit slower in my opinion. Let's do Dropbox, 3, 2, 1. And again, the Note 9, I mean, even these smaller, tiny little apps like Dropbox, which I know is not small, I mean, it's like medium size. But even something like that, you can easily tell that the Note 9 is just a little bit ahead. Let's do Bofa. 3, 2, 1. As you can see, the Note 9 again just ahead of the XS Max by so much. Like, it's unbelievable that that's not even the case. Let's do Temple Run, the original one. 3, 2, 1. As you can see, main menu is whatever. We have to go ahead and redo this. Let's go ahead and do it. 3, 2, 1. Now let's get into some gameplay, and they're going to be almost identical. You'll be able to tell they're like exactly the same. Like, there's not that big of a difference between them. Temple Run isn't that crazy of an app, even though it kind of does look like it. When this game used to come out, it was crazy. People were flocking to this game, but now it's like whatever. Let's do Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. As you saw, one of them, actually, they were almost identical to be honest, but gameplay is going to be exactly the same on both as well, so I don't even think there's a reason to even play this one, but you can tell, I mean, one of them was just like a little bit faster, not that crazy though. Let's end it off with the Real Racing 3. Hopefully I don't have to download anything on either of these devices. 3, 2, 1. And always with the Note devices and Android devices, it always seems like it's just like glitching up, and I feel like I haven't clicked it properly, but that's not really the case because, you know, obviously it went through. And actually the XS Max got into, and this is one thing that I've been seeing with the Real Racing 3. It could be possibly that like iOS apps are kind of more tailored to that specific device versus on Android. So as you saw, if you watched that other one I did today or yesterday with the S10 and XS, like the S10 was beating it in every sense, but just last second the XS actually beat it in Real Racing 3. So I don't know, you know, I'm definitely like not into the Real Racing 3 on either of these more. I mean, yeah, I probably beat the first race, but other than that, not that big of a deal. But let's actually go ahead and get into some RAM management. They both have, you know, there's about 2 more gigs in the Galaxy Note 9 than on the XS Max. So if we go ahead and load into both of them, surprisingly the XS Max actually got into it faster there. And it seems like there's like a little bit of a glitch when getting into the multitasking panel, when we're multitasking into an app and then clicking on it. It seems like it's able to bring the app faster into the forefront, I can't even speak, than the Galaxy Note 9, which is kind of weird. They're almost identically the same, honestly, except for that split second where the XS Max can actually boot into the app itself versus on the Note 9 in my opinion. So ultimately, dude, I'm gonna finish the rest of this review, but I don't think one is extremely faster than the other, but I think they're both pretty good in my opinion, to be honest. Now that we're back, I'm going to hit on the camera for like 20 seconds because honestly, they're both very good sensors. You have a dual camera setup on the iPhone XS Max, 2 12 megapixel sensors. The Galaxy Note 9 has a dual camera setup as well, 2 12 megapixel sensors, same old, same old. Both camera sensors on both devices can shoot 4K at up to 60 frames per second, and without a doubt, I will definitely tell you, I feel like the Galaxy Note 9's colors do pop up a little bit more, in my opinion, to my eyes than the XS Max. And honestly, I'm kind of weirded out because the XS Max colors kind of seemed a little washed out. I don't know what it was about, but it wasn't bad at all either. Like, they're both very, like, I will tell you, the Note 9 was a 10 out of 10. The XS Max is probably like a 9.5 out of 10, honestly. But I did see, like I always say, video and audio quality is better on the iPhones than on their Android counterparts. So that's kind of a big thing I would hit on right there. On the front camera is a 7 megapixel sensor on the XS Max, an 8 megapixel sensor on the Note 9. Again, not that big of a deal, 1440p on the Note 9's front camera, 1080p on the XS Max's front camera, but you can do 60 frames per second at 1080p, which is a really nice feature. Now moving on to the battery life, honestly, this is kind of weird because the XS Max and the Note 9 has a way bigger battery. You have a 3174 mAh battery on the XS Max and a 4000 mAh battery on the Note 9. Without a doubt, the Galaxy Note 9 is the winner here, in my opinion, in terms of battery life, even though it has, technically better specs and it's faster than the XS Max and a nicer screen, higher resolution. I do think because of the size of the battery, and because of One UI kind of streamlining a little bit more and kind of cleaning out things in the background, I do feel like the Note 9 does have the overall better battery life, in my opinion. But the XS Max's battery life isn't that bad either, and that's kind of like where I'm at, really, because the Note 9 has so much more in the device, in my opinion. You still have a very premium build quality. You have the S Pen, which is amazing, a cool little stylus thing, which the iPhones do not have. You have micro SD card slot expansion. I know I said that so weird, with the Galaxy Note 9 that the XS Max does not have. And here's the other stranger thing. In the new market, obviously if you're going to buy these brand new, they're going to run you about the same amount. The Galaxy Note 9 has gotten a little bit cheaper because of trade-in values and discounts and stuff that Apple usually doesn't do. But the Note 9 in the used market is super cheap now. I mean, I picked mine up, I think, for like $350, something like that. I bought it for less than $400, which is crazy because the XS Max is still selling for like, $800, $900 sometimes. Like, it's still a super expensive device. So I will tell you, if you're going to buy a used device or a new device or whatever, I'll say, if you have a choice, I'd probably pick up a XS Max if you want a phone that's going to retain its value and last you the longest. But if you want a phone that has all the quirks and bells and all those whistles and all those little things, that all the features that you're probably not even going to use in a phone, the Galaxy Note 9 is a super cool package. It has literally so much into it that the XS Max doesn't have, and a lot of phones in the market don't have either. And if you want, I would recommend picking up a used Galaxy Note 9 if you want the cheapest price. Obviously, eBay is probably the best place to get it from. But obviously, Amazon has their certified refurbished ones as well, and that's where I usually link my items through. So I'll go ahead and link the cheapest XS Max and the Note 9s in the description below. If you purchase things through that link, it actually helps support the channel at the same time, so that'll mean so much. But that is pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section as well. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.